crazy mother. Yeah.
It's just BurnEye.
Hey, Bernie, just like last week, huh?
Weekend at Bernie's.
But it's Woo Woo Wednesday. Welcome, everyone. Welcome.
Yeah.
All right, so back to symbology and alchemical symbols.
Yes.
This one I'm loving, but
Sure.
I see circuitry, but I see electrochemical circuitry, and that these are actually
Oh, Saturn is
force
different than it
vector.
usually is portrayed. Saturn is usually the cross with an H.
Right? And look at gold. I think gold's closer to what Saturn usually is. Interesting.
Interesting. Well,
And,
gold and Saturn are both the same in a sense.
well, gold and the sun are supposed to be the same.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's sulfur and Saturn. Saturn is
You froze up, Bernie. I'm gonna go off screen so you can find your way back. Hold on.
lead. No, oh shit. It was like I was giving away too much alchemical golden knowledge right there.
Yeah, you were.
Right? And they're like, no, you cannot give these it's essentially the God code. There's no other way of saying it. It is the building blocks of the universe. It is how elements and energy break down in structure, and it happens through water, metal, and salt, and a little bit of electricity. Like, look at Uranus. Is that a man with, or a person with hands and legs and then an open butthole? I don't know. That's kind of funny, but no, that looks more like a circuit to me, as they all do.
Or parts of circuits. Yeah.
Exactly. Pieces of it. Pieces of circuits, and that I'm going to be plugging in these, see Earth, right? We're in the crosshairs, sun, it's the right hand rule, gold. Oops, can't see me.
Interesting. That's also the sun within the sun, and so that's
exactly, the dot within
the black
the outer circle, and
Kemet.
the crescent, the moon, the force pulling on one side of us, whichever side it is of the crosshairs that are us, and the sun being our main pull towards Mercury. Oh, look at that. It's how the field bubbles interact with each other and hit the... Oh, this makes a lot of sense. Ding, ding, ding. Bernie had an epiphany breakthrough, but it'll be published soon enough. Anyways, fields of the planet electromagnetic gravitational bodies, and you see Mercury here, the half circle above.
Yeah, also
that's the sun. That's the sun, and then you've got the plus. It's giving its field to Venus. Venus, a bigger field, and then that plus goes down to Earth, which is the center of these bubbles. Then you got Mars, next one,
which projects back, which is
exactly right. And then Jupiter, it's its own line, that's its force around, and then Saturn goes out. Uranus and Neptune, complete different circuits. Very interesting.
That's
very interesting for force vector equations when measuring the heavenly bodies in relationship to each other. And that's where astrology actually has physical electromagnetic forces at play
Why is Earth on there twice? Oh, as an element. So it's in the center of the second aisle as an element. I see. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and Earth is more. You can see that instead of Earth, think solid. Instead of air, think gas. Instead of water, think liquid. And instead of fire, think plasma.
But
And these are the four
look at
states
Earth
of
and air.
matter.
It's as above, so below.
Yeah, Earth goes down, air goes up, water goes down, plasma goes up, and plasma goes all the way up, water goes all the way down. Air goes in the middle, Earth is on the bottom middle, right? So they're
And
showing you the force vectors of the states of matter. Plasma all the way up, then gas, then your solid, then your Earth, then your water, all the way down.
then lead has a radioactivity to it.
Yeah, good call. And look at copper, how it connects in two double circuits to your electromagnetic fields.
Brass
And
is a
bin,
base. Conduct. Tin does conduct only across one surface. Interesting.
right?
Interesting.
This is absolute alchemical gold's breakdown right here. Look at
Vinegar is an elixir. Oh, that's interesting. Mortar is a base solid that, yeah, salt.
sulfuric acid.
Wow,
Sulfur.
send me this, man. This is a good reference.
Oh yeah. Look at vinegar. It's like an electrical plug up.
Look at olive oil.
Quicksilver, aka mercury. Oh yeah, olive oil, exactly. And it's the bond, exactly. It's what connects all the nanoparticles together. That makes so much sense.
And ammonia break.
So when you're thinking, when you see the elements and mineral salts, metal symbols, think in terms of the electron valence bonds and the electron orbitals and how they form with other chemicals and other particles. And here you have your electrochemical force vectors. And that right there is highly advanced electrochemistry, cold fusion-ish of the actual how the universe and matter structure and the lost knowledge of the ancients and why alchemy was suppressed.
I'm kind of curious looking at this about the Vonage manuscript and all the different symbols.
Ooh, good call. Very good call.
Still undeciphered, but yeah, there's like plant magic. There's a lot of stuff in the Vonage manuscript. Not sure said earlier life, something about life, and my saying is life gets in the way of living it, and so sometimes it does.
Quite often, right? But that's just how finds the character of a human, the overcoming adversity, because the universe will constantly
It'll
throw
throw
doors at
some
you.
weird scenarios at you. God, I'm so used to working on my lower computer, I didn't realize my chair is like super low. There we go.
Look at what we got here. Here's another golden one of water. They spelled water
So
wrong.
where did all these symbols originate from? What's the etymology of the symbols? That's
Well, right? And it's like they find these symbols literally in Sumerian text, in Babylonian, in Egyptian, in Mayan, in Olmec sites. They find it in
Petra-
Scandinavian. They find it in the Indus Valley. They find it throughout all of Asia. It's literally the oldest language, some pictographic
Yeah.
language in use, and that it's the same symbols throughout all of history, and it's still used today and taught in the occult secret societies of the mystery schools. What do they know?
It's the right? Exactly. Oh, now we're on camera doing it. Damn it. Anyway. Guess I got to cover one eye. Yeah. Anyway. All those stupid memes of celebrities. Oh, you're part of this or that because you're doing this symbology. But there's some truth to that, weirdly.
I forgot to give the disclaimer before we started that as written literally in all the ancient alchemical texts, that if you are not initiated and you come upon this information, you need to not speak of it to anyone and give it directly to your king or monarch ruler, or punishable by death. So don't kill us, stupid creepy monarchs on the
Giving
other.
any symbology or medical suggestions. Anyway.
Oh, definitely not that. This is
So a lot of this is interesting. Maybe we jump into dreams all of a sudden because I had dreams when I had crazy dreams often. Many of them I don't remember, but the ones I do are obviously the most prolific. And in dreams, when I was younger, especially when I first moved to the States from Nepal, I had a download series of dreams where I would be in the middle of a dream and this character that was bald, with a beard, and wearing a cloak. I've drawn him in one of my sketchbooks, and he had a sachet that had symbols on it. But he would like pull the screen of my dream aside and say something to me in a language I couldn't quite figure out. And behind him was always a symbol, and I would wake up and draw down these symbols. And so I had 13 dreams like this, and I wanted to do a tattoo series up my back.
You need to. It's amazing.
But when I started showing them to people, I realized that they would be specific people I would meet in my life. And two of my friends have two of the symbol tattoos on them, which is fascinating to me.
Amazing synchronicities.
But when I told my father this, he said, "That's your grandfather or your great grandfather, his grandfather." And so my great grandfather was a mystic. He was a sage. Yes, he was a 33rd degree Mason. He lived in, he was German. He moved to the United States in the 1880s, I believe, 1890s, 1880s. And he helped start the San Francisco bakery. And then he moved that to Juneau, Alaska, and started the San Francisco bakery there, which then became the bakery of my family's last name. So, which is interesting. And then my great grandfather went and lived in the woods outside of Juneau. He lived in this little tiny cabin down by the bay, basically, in the middle of nowhere. I've been there. And he would teach my father some really interesting things about, the history of the world in a sense. And I think this is what spawned my father to get into anthropology and to travel around the world. But for my father to say, "This is your great grandfather showing up in my dreams," I thought was super fascinating because I've never had that since. I've had some really interesting dreams. I could show those symbols if you want to see them. I don't know.
Yes, please.
Give me present.
Definitely do.
So I put them all in a circle, but on the right.
Yo, this is what came to you in your dreams?
Yeah. So
That's
this character would
freaking
wipe the screen, behind him was a different symbol. And so I would wake up vivid, I'm in art school. I'm like, wow, I need to write this down. And it's the only time I've ever dream logged. because I don't know why I don't dream log, but yeah, these are what came up.
Absolutely epic, Hans. Hans, you just got like magnitudes of level cooler. Not that you weren't already magnitudes of cool above the average cool guy that is on, a level of exponential coolness, but you just became magnitudes of cooler, even more so. Like they almost look alien, but not. It's
Right,
like
and that's
like
it's like
electrical
a
or
language.
plasma. It also reminds me of stuff that you see in like Macronesia style, or maybe Hawaii-ish, maybe like one of the, or
So
maybe it's like
each
Ronga
one is
style.
set up to hold like the egg, like the one on the bottom. The one on the bottom actually is a
Yeah. Oh
tattoo
yeah.
I got after my accident to help balance, because it's balance. But they all have the capacity to hold this spherical egg shape, and
Yeah,
so
man.
I don't know what that was all about, and I wish I could have deciphered the language that was being spoken to me, but my father was very prolific in saying, "This is your great grandfather speaking to you," and he's not speaking to you in German; he's speaking to you in the old German
This
tongue.
is like plasma great grandfather kinetic shit. This is wild. Is this the ancient lost language? Could be. Like they all are in pairs. Yeah, I believe so.
Anyway, just something I thought was
Like the coolest thing ever. Like this Hans, we and like look at how it's like a ball, but it's like a plasma ball. Like this, man, man.
well. Each one has a different frequency, and that's kind of how it works.
Yeah. How do we calculate that frequency?
Hence why I put it in a circle. It was like they're all circulating around this energy, and so that's the question: what is this all about? But since then, I've had some really interesting dreams. So I went back. That was the second dream.
On mind blown? Do you want to have your mind blown 13 times over?
Sure. Yeah. God, please.
Have you ever realized that each of your characters is a 13, which is two threes that are inversed from each other, and then a perpendicular one? It is a 1, 3, 3, and each one contains a 1, 13 with a intersecting 1 and 2 inverted threes with each other.
You just spent the time to go through all those, huh?
I saw it instantly. I was like, holy fuck, there's 13 of them and they're all 13.
So 13 is an
In
interesting part of my family. So my grandfather, on my mother's side, so my mother's father, my granddad, he was a lumber salesman in the 40s. So all the beautiful, lush Oregon lumber, sadly, he worked for the companies that cut all the trees down and planked them, but he also sold raw wood all over the world. And so he went to Shanghai, he went to Japan. He sold a lot of lumber. Japan, as they bury the trees that he would sell underwater, so they have it in the future, which is fascinating because they don't have a lot of lumber there. But he was in Shanghai right before, during World War II, they bombed Shanghai. And he was in a hotel downtown, or his flat. It's now a hotel, but when he lived there, it was a flat. And he had no way of getting out of Shanghai. The last boat that left was on Friday the 13th. I'm not sure what month, but fascinating.
Your angels will protect you if you need
The
to
only
escape.
cabin available on the boat was the 13. Okay. And my grandfather had 1300 in his passport number. And so he was like, I'm going to take this last chance. It's an unlucky number, whatever. I'm doing it. If he had not gotten out of Shanghai, my mother would not have been born. So that's why it's an interesting numerology in my family, not just for me, but even my sister. And so That's not one of my numbers.
It's intricately entwined
You
into
see,
your interdimensional epigenetic ancestral plasma existence. And
how do I stop sharing here? I think you might need to cancel.
I need a copy of that. It's mind blowing. It blows the mind. And I want to see if they correlate. No, maybe not. Maybe where the points. I can't. So I want to put your circle over top of each one of these and see which set. Oh man, that would be so wild.
God, please send me that. Yeah. You brought it back up.
So that over top of each one of these, and if they freaking connect, you got the sacred 1313 geometry. That's
I've always been fascinated with why 13. So that one has been really interesting, and so maybe it's the
dimensional sky.
Okay.
Maybe it all.
Oh, you frozen again. I'm gonna go off screen. Hold on.
I was like, Bernie was dropping too many connections.
Too many connections, damn you.
The 13 lunar cycles and the 13 zodiacs in the luminary sky, right? Let's connect to that.
So there are 26 vertebrae from our neck to our sacrum, which is 13 times 2. So it's the spaces in between. Like I said, I wanted to get this tattooed on my back. So
I want to get this tattooed on my back too now. Yeah. Hans, you got magnitudes of level like that. Your whole family is absolutely epic.
We're a bunch of oddities, my friend. We're a bunch of oddities. Somebody asked me the other day where I'm from, and I'm like, the only way I can answer, it's such a loaded question. I'm from my mother, I'm German, I'm Dutch, and I grew up in South Asia. Where am I from? I'm from this planet. We all share it together. You know, it's uncomfortable sometimes, but we do all share this uncomfortable rock together. So maybe we should find how to make it comfortable for all of us. That's the end of my bandstand, but
of it. I want some more of it, and I keep freezing up.
Yeah, you do.
Isn't this fascinating? This supposed.
What's that? You are frozen, pardon me.
Can you see what's on screen? Can you hear me?
On screen's fine. We just can't hear what you're saying. So, yeah.
Son of a bee. How close it is.
How close it is.
Hey, Hans.
Thanks for having to talk about dream science and symbology.
Absolutely epic episode, my friend, and we will do this again hopefully next week. And until then, love you, brother. Love you all. Okay. Just cause it's Woo Woo Wednesday.
I'm sweet. I got a beat. Just look at me. What do you see? Puppet pineapple, I'm a pineapple, puppet pineapple, I'm a pineapple, puppet pineapple, I'm a pineapple, puppet pineapple, I'm a pineapple.
pineapple owl.
You crazy mother. Yeah.
It's just burning.
Hey, Bernie, just like last week, huh?